Good afternoon. I'm County Executive Ken Jenkins, and this afternoon we are going to be here to talk about another environmental initiative to help support our sustainability goals, which are the EV chargers at the county center. With me this afternoon, of course, is our Deputy County Executive, Richard Wishney, Peter McCart, our Director of Energy Conservation and Sustainability, Gail Katzman, who is our Department of Public Works and Transportation Deputy Commissioner, the Chairman of the Board of Legislators, Vadat Gashi, Mayor Tom Roach, and we're going to continue to talk about that. So again, we have some EV enthusiasts that are up here with us. There's at least 4 people standing up here that have fully electric vehicles. So this particular initiative was something that we have been working on throughout the county, but now Westchester County has installed 25 new electric vehicle charging stations at the county station's south parking lot. So if you're going into the county center, that's the one that's actually closest to the train station into Main Street, providing free charging for up to 50 electric vehicles at this time. This initiative was funded through a $115,000 Clean Energy Communities grant from NYSERDA, the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority, and is part of the county's broader commitment to sustainability, clean energy adoption, minimizing air pollution, and reducing greenhouse gases. The charging stations are available at no cost to event attendees and mass transit commuters. Bicycle Sunday participants and visitors to the Bronx River Reservation will also take advantage of that for the walk and bike trail. This initiative aligns with the county's climate action plan, which prioritizes reducing emissions and expanding access to clean energy infrastructure. At this time, we're going to ask Peter McCart, our Director of Energy Conservation and Sustainability, to come up and let us know some more about our climate action plan.
Thank you, County Executive. Yes, so this initiative is about making electric vehicle use more accessible and convenient for our county. Expanding our EV charging infrastructure is a practical step towards cleaner air and a greener Westchester, and we are proud to be taking action to support clean energy adoption. These 50 charging ports, there are 25 stations with dual ports, are exceptionally handy for those attending, obviously, the county center for various events, the reptile show, the Westchester Knicks, or whatever it is. But also, they're very convenient for the Metro North train station, which is right above where the lot is, as well as the county executive mentioned, for the bike and walking trails, and especially on Bike Sundays during the summer, but also the restaurants that are over on Central Avenue. So there's multiple uses for these, and they're very handy in that regard. There's always been 2 major complaints or hesitations about EVs. They're more expensive and the so-called range anxiety. We've all got it. Anybody that's got an electric car has got a little bit of range anxiety, but with the new interstate charging infrastructure that's been put in all across the country, that really doesn't factor in anymore, especially with the new models coming out that have either close to 300 or far over 300, and that's just going to be expanding as we move along. So the delta between the fossil fuel cars and the electric vehicles is gone now, in my mind. There are so many new models that are coming out, and they have the 300-mile range, and there's new models every day. And I recommend highly the lease arrangement. I'd also like to thank DPW Commissioner Gail Katzman and her engineering team for pulling this all together. That's Gary Lynch. Thank you, Gary. Gabby Rivas, Peter Snyder, and Jeff Wright. As well as I'd like to thank DPW Deputy Commissioner Hernani de Almeida, who is now pretty much in charge of the operation of these chargers. And he and Gail I think they did the handoff just this past week. So that's it. Thank you to the County Executive for taking on this initiative. I really appreciate that. And I'm going to pass it over to Gail. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll just say a few words about the project. Everyone in DPW, we're really excited about the project. It brings so many EV chargers right into the heart of White Plains. This is part of an ongoing program our department is working on to bring EV chargers around the county on county properties. So look out for more new chargers at our parks and different locations. We're working hard on the initiative, and I wanted to thank especially the county executive, Jenkins. Thank you so much for your support and your entire office. Also, thank you to the Board of Legislature, always very supportive of our initiatives, especially sustainability initiatives, and always pushing us to do more with sustainability. So just wanted to make those thank yous to everybody.
Well, first, thank you, Deputy Commissioner Katzman. And again, the work doesn't get done without the tenacity of someone that's leading that effort. For us, Deputy Commissioner Gail Katzman has been on top of this for many, many years as we've been trying to navigate through the different challenges, whether that is getting the units energized, trying to identify the different locations, and with a range of mix of things. I want to pass over to another EV enthusiast, the chairman of the Board of Legislators, who has a 100% EV, 100% electric vehicle that he has had for a couple of years, and he's taken some massive trips on it, and he understands more than many other folks. But there's several legislators that have either a battery plug-in hybrid or a fully electric vehicle. So let's turn over to the chairman of the Board of Legislators, Badat Ghashi. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, County Executive, even if you are giving away my secrets. No, I do have an electric vehicle myself, but I will say I'm proud to be here, and I want to thank specifically the County Executive Ken Jenkins, and our whole team here, including Gail Katzman and everybody that worked on this, because this is part of our dedication to sustainability, towards the environment, towards clean air and jobs. These are all outcomes of this massive problem that we have before us, frankly. And this is going to be a continuing effort. And we're not going to solve it in one go, but we are going to if we start doing things like this. And I think in the thing that I've heard and I've always appreciated was you're not going to solve tomorrow's problems with yesterday's technology and infrastructure. And this is an effort, again, to improve that, which is not only for the environment and local jobs, but a reality of where we are. As Peter McCart said, the reality is more electric vehicles are out there. More people are using them. And we as a county need to address that and make it possible for them to do so. And thanks to NYSERDA and the state for making these funds available so we can continue to do that. Thank you again, County Executive Ken Jenkins, and very excited to be here for this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. As the chairman of the board said, there are certainly many, many reasons for us to take this initiative. The major reason was to be able to address climate change, and Peter McCart was addressing that in his comments initially. The reality is that we can only do so many things to be able to protect the environment, and this is one way that we can do this. The information has stated that the number one contributor to the pollution in our environment are the vehicles that we drive, and whether those are buses, and for many years Westchester County has had, since County Executive Andy Spano has had hybrid buses, now we have fully electric buses that we are also running as well. And in this kind of weather, there's some challenges that people have seen, because in your combustion vehicle, in your gas fuel vehicle, you don't notice that you lose range, you lose mileage, because you don't really think about it. In the electric vehicle world, there's absolutely a thought about what happens in the colder weather, but it happens whether you have an electric vehicle, whether you have a a gas vehicle, it does not matter. You lose range in the winter. It's just the facts. And we live in the Northeast. But here with us is the number one enthusiast in Westchester County, and the leader for a sustainability perspective. Mayor Tom Roach has been a leader, and the city of White Plains under his leadership has been a leader as far as not only implementing EV charging stations throughout the parking system that they have here in White Plains, but also being an enthusiast at a level that when we was installing the new high-speed chargers in White Plains, when the governor was down here, Governor Hochul and her team was down here in White Plains launching their new program for Charge New York or Recharge New York, the mayor commented that if you ever got into conversations between myself and him, we were talking about EV vehicles, and you don't want to be in the middle of that because it's just like a crazy technical thing. But at the end of the day, Mayor Tom Roach's leadership continues to make sure that White Plains has been in the forefront, and I wanted to ask him to come up to say a few words to talk about all the initiatives, because he was one of the people driving up to Albany with an 80-mile Leaf, and Albany's just a little bit more than 80 miles, and he could tell you where every charging station was, and there wasn't high-speed chargers as they are now. So again, Mayor Tom Roach.
Thank you, Mr. County Executive. He's the number one fan of EVs. I can't top him. When we used to stand and talk, I would be most interested in what is the latest addition to the Jenkins family fleet. And he was always the front end of that. I did have a Leaf early on, and I can remember taking trips to Albany in the winter where I kept the heat off because I wanted to avoid making extra stops. It has changed so much. It's changed dramatically. We're an all-electric family now. I drive a Chevy Bolt, which is my favorite car I've ever owned. Much greater range, and I go wherever I want with it. I've taken it to Ohio and back, to Maine and back, to the mountains of Quebec and back, and South Carolina and back. So I keep saying and back, but there are critics out there. I want them to know I got back. They're important to everyone, but if you're at home and you're watching this and you're thinking, well, what's in it for me? I drive a combustion vehicle. Look, we're not competing with you for gasoline. Plus, the oil companies realize that I can tell you the number one time I get asked questions about my car is when gas prices go up. As soon as if they go back over $4 or something, everyone will be asking me about my car. Once people get an electric car, they don't go back. It's better performance. It's a better experience to drive it. Way less maintenance. My Bolt has 42,000 miles on it, zero maintenance, no oil changes, no coolant, none of that. So we're helping you by driving electric, and eventually you'll be part of the club as well. The county, by doing this, it's such a great benefit because if you don't have an electric vehicle, you may not realize there's different types of charging. This is what we would call generally level 2 charging, which is a slower charge. It's much faster than a household current, but it is, between 24 maybe a little more miles per hour. And you have direct charge, which is what is often called level 3, which with some cars can take 350 kilowatts. It's, you see what happens when Ken and I talk in the corner. That's what we're talking about. So the bottom line is that it was funny that Ken mentioned, he took all my material, but he did mention when Governor Hochul came down, they put a charger in our Chester Maple garage as a demonstration, and then we pulled up a Bolt and pretended to charge it. As we speak right now, the real thing has been installed at the Chester Maple garage, and we're just winding down to the grand opening of that in partnership with New York Power Authority. It's wonderful to have a partner like the county. I appreciate everything they're doing, and thank you, County Executive Jenkins.
Thanks, Mayor. The reality, again, as we're all referring to, is that because of the proliferation of electric vehicles, there's different types of charges that are necessary. As the mayor pointed out, and some of us that are up here have done these trips, including the chairman of the Board of Legislators, making extensive trips, going back and forth. I go back and forth down to South Carolina all the time with my electric vehicle. And again, it's not any challenges. The very first trip I did with a very small range battery was down to Florida, and with less than 200 miles, or about 200 miles when it was totally full. So you had to do a lot more planning at that time. You don't have to do that kind of planning anymore. And this particular installation, again, that the Hudson Valley Regional Council, which is a multi-county organization dedicated to regional planning and sustainability, they partnered with us here in the county to help secure this funding. And because of this investment, Westchester County is taking that major step to reducing transportation-related emissions while providing convenient, cost-free charging at this time, because that may change down the road, for those people that live, work, and visit in the region. And those 50 plugs, the 25 stations, but the 50 ports that are right next to the train station, those folks will be able to pull their car in and get a permit to pull their car in, but they'll be able to charge while they get on the Metro North, and then by the time they come back, they should be all filled up. And because there's so many spots, we're getting to that place where it's ubiquitous, that it doesn't matter that you have to have a dedicated spot for that. So we have charging stations at the North White Plains Station that many people take advantage of on the weekends. This is going to be another option, and again, for 50 of those locations. Again, whether someone's commuting into work or for the people that live in the area, because everyone does not have the ability, because they may live in an apartment complex where it may be challenging to have that, they'll take that extra walk. Peter McCart tells us that there's many locations around with the municipalities that have plugged into our program. That was a good boom, right? The $5 million program that we have that works with all local municipalities as they install EV charging stations around their communities. And people have been known to take significant walks, right, to be able to leave their car, make sure it gets charged up, and they're ready to go. So again, I want to thank everyone who made this investment initiative possible. Our Hudson Valley Regional Council, the Deputy Commissioner for Department of Public Works and Transportation, Gail Katzman, and the entire engineering team, Gary Lynch being here in the room with us. Our Director of Energy Conservation and Sustainability, Peter McCart, the Deputy County Executive, Richard Wishney, especially there's other vehicles like in emergency services where he was the commissioner, but now he's our DCE, and he's the other opportunities to be able to save money and making sure, more importantly, that we are able to keep our environment and our air as clean as possible. And this is the easiest way for everyone to do that. Our friend Mayor Tom Roach, his leadership, not just here in White Plains, but around this county and around the state in NICOM, has been a forefront and a leader to making sure that we have energy, sustainability, and initiatives. And as everyone has said, it is so much easier at this particular point in time if you have an EV, electric vehicle. But more importantly, you're doing your part to make sure our air is as clean as it could possibly be without any sweat making any difference for yourself. This is why this program is so very important and very effective. So again, this is just another one of those energy savings and energy conservation initiatives that we have. The mayor also pointed out something that many people don't realize. When you don't have a combustion engine, you don't take your car in every 3 months to have the oil change. You don't have to do anything with the fluids that you have in your vehicle that have to be changed. I don't think I've gone into for service for my vehicle's tires and windshield wipers. That's the only two things that you have to deal with. And again, we need to keep moving these initiatives forward if we're going to make a difference in protecting the environment. With that, I'm Kay Jenkins, County Executive. Thank you so much for watching, and this is just another one of our energy sustainability initiatives.